Hi, I'm Jolene, the conference reporter. At attention, please, Ryan. We're at Nasaga, and he just did a session here. Ryan, who are you?
Ryan Gunhold. I am a lead consultant at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
So I heard you say a big statement. Will you repeat that?
We're here today because we want to change education.
So how and why? This is not 20 hours, so...
No. We feel that we are obviously in a new century where there's a tipping point with new technologies and new innovation that are difficult to keep up with. And we feel like if we don't form a community that's really focused on helping to change education for the future, it won't happen.
So how did this, what are you doing at the Gates Foundation? Like, how did your quest start? What was the fuel?
Yeah. So the story, which is quite interesting because the funny thing is it doesn't have anything to do with technology at all. Okay. The technology actually was us. So what I mean by that is when we were going through this experience, it's funny, I probably had 2 to 3 other colleagues who were going through an analysis of their learning systems and their business operations and things of that nature. And a lot of people are analyzing that and they think that maybe a new process or a new solution is the right thing to do. It wasn't. It actually was our approach. We weren't communicating effectively. We weren't building partnerships with people effectively. And we weren't really inspiring, which I think is actually at the heart of what we do in learning. And we were thinking a lot more like business than we were about giving. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it was the simple fact that I was working at the foundation. It's a very giving place, but I had a huge fundamental shift between feeling like I was going in every day to do business versus what we're doing now, which is going out and inspiring people.
It rubbed off. I'm sorry. It rubbed off on you.
It did.
So then you started communicating.
And then the funny thing is, we never knew that this was going to happen, but people started inviting us to conferences like this one. They had heard that we had a very inviting message and an inspiring one, and that it was related to trying new things. So actually, we've even presented at non-learning conferences as well, that this is kind of just a new learning, this is a new approach just to doing business, we think, in the world. And I think it's kind of funny that the Gates Foundation gets almost $4 billion every year that they have to give away. And then every year they get more and more. And that type of thinking is just a huge fundamental shift for me from being a consultant in places like Microsoft where their goal is to make money. Whereas at the foundation, it was in giving, we actually made more money than when we were working in businesses where we were trying to make money, if that makes sense.
So here at Nasaga, you were mentioning, so there's a lot of people who get very excited about gamification and how it can help their employees, etc. And so you're bridging the gap for them?
We are. Well, okay. So sorry, I didn't finish that statement from before, but it was that in learning from my other business associates that they were all going through the same thing, is that the hardest thing right now, I feel like a lot of us go through, professionals, is at times we can kind of feel quite alone, that we're having to deal with the challenges.
You are not alone.
I love it. You do that every time I say that. But the reality of the situation is that you're not. Actually, there's lots of other professionals like you going through that. And so this movement has kind of become a professional organizational support system, if you will, because we realize that once more and more other professionals start doing this, and that becomes the trend, then we're not doing something different than everyone else. We're just all doing the same thing. And that's the fundamental shift that we want to see happen.
And so the idea of the future of learning, some of these talks, that is my other phone, excuse me.
So is that going to be on the video?
Well, it will be until I edit it out. We'll see. So essentially, there's a lot of geeks and people who are excited about all these ideas, and they take them back to their clients, but don't know how to communicate with them. And what you and your team have done in the future of learning, this new organization movement you're putting together, is helping them communicate with the outside world?
I think it's like you. So in the same thing that you're doing right here of being the conference reporter, if you will, new innovative concept, new innovative ideas, is that conferences are a great place to share ideas, and it's one of the primary reasons we go there. But one of the biggest problems that we have seen at conferences, and I've experienced at conferences, is I get great ideas and I go back to my workplace environment and I never get the chance to implement them. I never get a chance to share them, and I go back to my old work routines. And the reality of why a lot of us come to conferences is to get new idea and to meet new people and to learn about new approaches. And so we've learned that we stay in contact with all of our conference participants at least a month afterwards to ask them how things are going, because we want to ensure that the ideas that they create in our workshops really go back into their workplace environment, number one. And number two, let them know and remind them that they're part of a community they can continue to access and resource even long after they're away from the conference.
Very nurturing, and I say very consistent with the Gates Foundation. So the future of learning, how can they learn more about what you're talking about?
Thanks for asking that. So we actually have on LinkedIn a Future of Learning group. It's very small right now. You can also email us. It's literally letters FOL at DLI.com. That goes to any one of our individuals who are now monitoring that. What's really funny is we even now, this movement has grown to the point where we even have interns who are helping out now with it, because this newest generation of Zillennials, or whatever they're called, Generation Z, they basically they don't care as much about making money. They care a lot more about making a difference, and then they know that the money will follow after that. And so feel free to reach us through either way right now. We don't necessarily have a full website that's up yet. This has cropped up really over the last couple of months. But if you contact Darren or myself, we'd be happy to reach out to anybody.
Very nice. Future of learning, and thank you for sharing. There's a lot of people who had so many great things to say about your session. So thank you.
Thank you.
Go team.
There you go. Thank you.